My name is Rachel and I'm a sophomore cognitive science major.
And I'm Christopher, a sophomore mechanical engineering and computer science double major.
And today we would like to share with you our experience of Design for America at Carnegie Mellon. We decided to focus on the problem of composting at CMU because we realized a general sense of apathy about composting and recycling on campus. Across our dining locations, we found that there is a high contamination rate in composting and recycling bins due to uninformed behavior.
Yes, and when we interviewed the staff in one of the dining locations on campus, she mentioned that even though close to 2,000 people come every day, post-consumer composting is almost non-existent. Hence, we took it on ourselves to alleviate this problem. It was only after we interviewed kitchen staff, faculty members, students, etc. that we realized how complex this problem actually is.
Through our interviews, we made several user personas of our stakeholders from what we had found. Overall, we realized that the kitchen staff was interested in composting and had an extensive system set up for pre-consumer waste. However, they faced problems in creating a hassle-free system for post-consumer waste. One of the stories shared with us was that they had volunteers stand by the compost bins to make sure that students would not contaminate the compost bins with items that were not compostable.
Our biggest takeaway from our interviews with faculty members and students is that the entire process was really confusing. We have several dining locations across campus, and each one used different utensils. Sometimes the plates would be compostable, but the cups wouldn't be, and it was difficult for anyone to distinguish between the two.
Using these personas, we conducted a workshop with a larger student body. We were able to create various how might we statements, such as, how might we get students to know what to compost? How might we get students to invest time in a waste program? How might we make students aware of the consequences of not recycling? How might we get students on campus informed about recycling? How might we get students to care about composting? And how might we help students to become responsible about waste? This allowed us to identify more design spaces so that we can start the ideation process. I will let Ben, one of the attendees of the workshop, talk a little more about the ideas that came up that day.
We had a bunch of great ideas from the workshop, including creating a smart trash can where the trash can would tell users if their waste was compostable. We also thought about creating impact through art, in which we demonstrate how much trash would be collected over a year and compare that with how much waste actually remained after composting and recycling. Another idea was to create an inter-dorm competition, where students would compete to see which dorm composted the most. One group thought to equip each composting bin with a weighing scale, which would give a real-time representation of the composting efforts so far. Our final ideas were to increase signage to make students more aware of the composting bins already on campus, and to color-code utensils so people would know right away what could be composted.
After the initial round of ideation, our groups had some time to evaluate their ideas before prototyping. We quickly realized that many people were unsure of the ideas and were not fully convinced that they will truly be effective. Digging deeper, we felt that reiterating our how might we's and taking a better look at the design spaces we chose might be needed. Though this felt like a setback, it really helped to clarify the areas that we wanted to work on. Our discussions eventually led us to focus on three main design spaces. How might we engage students better in the composting process? How might we change people's behavior? And how might we lessen confusion for students?
Using this, we continued our ideation process and decided to work on creating a compostable plate. We wanted to ensure all utensils used in dining locations across campus were compostable. This proved to be a challenge due to the different formats of meals across campus. Some of them had two sides, some of them had just one main entree. Some included drinks, and some did not. Also, since a lot of students at Carnegie Mellon often prefer the convenience of bringing their food with them to their next destination, we wanted to make sure users could carry all their food in one hand if they wanted to. This would also help in the composting process since users would have a free hand to remove any non-compostable items.
Using these ideas, we proceeded to create our first prototype. After many iterations, our design resembled a tray more than a plate, so that one could place their drinks. We decided to use cardboard first to get a rough sense of how big the plate should be. After further refining, we built a second prototype with a material closer to what compostable material would be like. In order to accommodate different meal formats on campus, we decided to incorporate removable dividers. The idea is to make these perforated so users could take them out when ordering their food.
With our new prototype, we went on to user testing. We brought our prototype with us in dining locations across campus and asked people what they felt about the product.
Concerned that it's a little bit over-engineered and we're using a lot of materials to create this piece versus if a student would just rather have one simple plate to put everything on that they can easily throw away.
I like the idea of having these compartments and having everything like enough room to put everything on the plate. I feel like this part is a little bit bulky. Maybe reducing the amount of material used for this, and maybe instead of making it this square shape, maybe something circular.
Also help like healthy campus as far as portion control. That would be useful, I think. As a fitness professional, I think if you did something like this, but also had pictures of like vegetables and carbohydrates and meat, so that people knew where the food was supposed to go and in what quantity. So that's the biggest thing that I see when I look at it, is it's very good for portion control. To me, that's what I'm looking for.
There's definitely more to work on with our plates. After user testing, we found that our current plate will not accommodate all the different meal formats across campus just yet. We are, however, glad that many of our users expressed that this idea is headed in a positive direction and agreed that it would help promote good composting habits on campus. We hope to continue work on this project and make a change in the composting culture within CMU.